Today we're going to be working with eggs. I have chicken eggs. And I'm going to show you how I finish them and the different things I do with them. So first off is I get a chicken egg and I wash it with hot soapy water. Then I take a pair of scissors and I find the peak, and I poke a hole in it. I spin it around, find the peak, poke a hole in it. I take a toothpick and I insert into the bottom edge and I stir it up with the toothpick, and then I blow it out. When I get it all blown out, I take it over to the sink and I run hot water in it. I blow it out. I run hot water in it. I blow it out. And then I take an organic disinfectant and I spray it in one of these holes. And then I put it right side up, preferably with the biggest hole to the top so air can get in there. And then I let it sit 2-3 days. It's nice and dry inside. It's disinfected. It's clean. Caulk. It's all-purpose acrylic latex caulk. I use white. And I'll show you what we're going to do with it. So then I'll take a piece of paper and I'll try and get some fresh, clean stuff out of there because it gets discolored from the nail. Or a popsicle stick and my egg. And then I'll start working this over the holes to fill it. So we want a nice smooth egg again. I'll do that on both sides. Trying not to push too much in the egg. We'll let that set for a few days. Got it on the side here. We'll let that sit for a few days and we'll let it solidify and it'll look like this. To get that off, we just take a piece of sandpaper and rub it off. And that'll smooth that up nice and clear. So that'll look like that. Nice and smooth, solid. And at this point, we can do pretty much whatever we want to. If I'm going to just paint it so that it looks like this, I won't do anything to it. I'll just go ahead and paint it with the craft glue that comes in the little bottles or in little tubes. I'll go ahead and paint that, and then when that's done and dried, then I will take and put some clear sealer on it, like varnish or something like that. And when that is all done, then I'll take and I'll put a little hanger on it like that. Now to make that, I have supplies here. And you go to your hobby store and you get jewelry findings like that or that or whatever you find really cute. And you take a wire. I use half of an ornament hook, you know, like you use for Christmas, and you bend it over on the very bottom. So it looks like that. That's to prevent the wire from coming through on the top. And you put little beads on it. Or, let's see, I have a multitude of stuff. I have little beads here and little beads here. Whatever you want to decorate that hanger with. And then you take and you bend the very top over so the beads can't come off, and so your ornament hanger as something to hang into. Did you ever notice you can never get one of these ornament hangers free when you want it, but when you don't want one, they're everywhere. So you take an ornament hanger and you insert it into this, and you have a way to hang up your egg. And you can hang it wherever you want, on your tree or whatever. Now, if you're not going to, if you want to do something a little more elaborate to create an effect like this, these are really fun to do. See here, I just used a bead. I enlarged the hole, one of the holes that I used to blow it out, and I just inserted a bead into it and just made a simple loop hanging up there. So in order to do that, what we're going to do is remove this stuff out of the way here. And we're going to put our rubber gloves on, because I don't know about you, but when I paint, I get it everywhere. And I have this little container of, it's made by Rust-Oleum, it's gloss, and it's hunter green. It's just a little can of paint. And you take your raw egg before you do anything to the bottoms. Well, actually, you would want to finish the bottom like that. So you don't want the paint going up in it. But I have a different plan for this egg. So you take and bend a wire and you insert it in the egg, bending out so it has pressure on the two sides of the egg. See if I can get this out. It's just like the inside of the glass ornaments you get at Christmas time. So now the really fun part comes. We're going to simply submerge our egg down into the can of paint. And we're going to tip it around so it's all nice and covered. Okay, and it's going to look like that. We'll slowly pull our egg out. Being careful not to hit the sides of the can, and we're going to let it drip so it gets the paint that went inside of it out. And oh, I just broke it, but that's all right. We'll finish this so you can see. And here you can see the paint coming down in sheets, and it's thin down here at the bottom. So we want to give this heavier coating a chance to drip off. We'll let that drip for just a little minute. And when it's done dripping, I think we're going to actually lose this egg, because it's now holding on by one wire. So while it's dripping, I'll show you the way I let it dry. I took a box, just any size box, and I put a little dowel across the inside to make something to put the hooks on. That way they can drip. And then I put some old tissue paper or newspaper or whatever down here in the bottom, just to give it something to catch the paint on. And I think we're going to go ahead and transfer it over and let it drip into there. We'll go ahead and let that drip for a little while, and then we'll come back and we'll try and prevent any further paint from drying into a drip type situation underneath it. So it's more, I don't know if you can see that, but you can see it's really long and drippy, and we don't want that. We want it to be nice and more normal eggshell looking when we're done. This one, I didn't catch it in time when I first sealed it with clear enamel or clear varnish, and it formed a teardrop on the end like that. You do not want that, because that kind of ruins your egg. And this one I took just to see what would happen. I took some Mod Podge and I cut some lace and I spread it all over together and I stuck it on this egg. I'm not real happy with it because you can see the extension of the Mod Podge all the way up here and down here, so it's not a very seamless joint. I don't think I'll be keeping this. I really like this part of it though. I think that's really pretty, but I don't like this. I don't like what I did to it. And I glued this on so well that I can't get these off, so we'll throw it away. I did the same thing with this egg, simply because, and this one I had painted the hunter green, and I wanted to see if that white lace, you could see that really well, but that didn't turn out the way I wanted either. It pretty much ruined that egg. So we're going to throw that one away. But you can get them to do amazing things, is what I'm trying to show you. You can make it and paint little flower gardens on it. Isn't that cute? I think it's cute. And down in the end I had a bigger cavity than normal, so I put a piece of jewelry finding down there just to give it kind of, and a matching one up here just to kind of make it a little special. And you can also put and coat them with glitter, and they sparkle very pretty. See, I had a different type of topping here I put on here. You have all the options you can think of to do with this. Another thing I could do after I put glitter on an egg, I took my Dremel and I carved it out. I really like when I do these. And most of the time I push it too hard to see how many holes I can get in here without the egg collapsing. And when I do it right, it's very unique. See, I put a fancy little cap on the bottom and I put a little bead on the top. So when you do it right, it's really pretty. So that's just some of the things you can do with an egg if you have the patience and feel like doing it. And see, we're really starting to get a big old drip hanging here. And I want to kind of really be careful with that, because I think this one, I'm going to take and engrave it with lots of little holes with a Dremel, because I did break the top, which means I'm going to have to flip it over and use the bottom for the top to put this on, because I can use the Dremel and enlarge the damaged part down there and make it bigger. And then I can just go ahead and make holes all around it and just see if I can give it a new life that way. I don't give up on an egg until it's absolutely destroyed beyond hope. And by being destroyed beyond hope, is when it's pretty much collapsing in my hands. If you'd like me to go into more detail about any phase of this, or you have questions, feel free to ask and I'll do what I can to answer them. Or I can make another video where I go into bigger detail about each step. Today we just did a quick overview of the possibilities, and I would certainly be willing to answer any questions you may have. So thank you for watching and have a good afternoon. We'll see you soon. Bye.